my friends, and welcome to episode 66 of the Kiss Army Nation podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Pasquale Veri.
And I am Claudius Pera. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Now, Dominik Cote was a former guest on a past fan profile episode. The discussion centered around not only his love for Kiss, but his work on attempting to launch a toy and record show. That launch was a success, which subsequently led to other shows and Kiss-related events, including a show that is coming up on July 30th. Here to discuss his various projects, both past and present, is our friend Dominik Cote. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you guys so much. It's an honor to be back. Really appreciate
It's so good.
it.
So good to have you, Dom. So we told you that we were going to have a round two, and here we are. So we're so happy to have you.
Well, it's funny. It's that episode manifested a lot of all this, everything I'm doing.
Wow.
So maybe this can be another launching pad. The second episode, now we go bigger.
There you go.
Yes.
So as you mentioned, Dom, so the last time we spoke on the show, we remember you were organizing your first event, the Bristol County Toy and Record Show back in September 2021. Time flies. Unbelievable. So can you tell us about that event? So first, where did it take place?
So I was in my hometown, Taunton, Massachusetts. I actually ran it at the venue. I worked at a after school and before school daycare center. It used to be a pool hall. And I asked my boss if I could use it for a toy and record show, and he let me do it. And it was actually a pretty cool venue for the show, even though, it was a daycare. But so I ran in Taunton.
Good. And I remember we read somewhere and that we had the chance to talk, and you had over like 20 vendors there. So what was being sold at the event?
So I'm trying to think how many tables there were. There were around like 30, probably.
Oh,
like 30
wow. Okay.
And it was a little bit of everything. It was mostly toys and records. And then I had 3 Kiss vendors. I had Dean, I can't say his last name, Dean something. He's from New Hampshire, from the KLA. Dean, and then I had San and Todd. They strictly sold Kiss.
Okay.
And it was 6 tables of just all Kiss, which was awesome. Dean had 3 and San and Todd had 3. I met those guys through the KLA, and they've all been incredible. I spent so much money. I spent so much money. It was an awesome show, and everyone, I could tell, definitely listened to the podcast because I saw a lot of Kiss shirts. I saw a lot of Kiss shirts. So everyone was happy. But this was like one of the first shows that I've been to, that has had Kiss dealers at a non-Kiss event. Having 6 tables full of Kiss merchandise was my favorite part, was because I don't get to do that. When I go to toy shows or I go to record shows, you might be lucky to see Kiss stuff, scattered through the event, but not having 6 tables dedicated to Kiss. So that was my favorite part for sure, was the Kiss stuff. Toys, records, incredible, but I spent most of all my money on Kiss merchandise.
And did you have any special guests at that event? No.
I had like some cosplayers, people that dressed up. I had the 1966 Batmobile, but no guests, no autograph guests. The people that dress up, the 501st for Star Wars, they were there taking pictures, but no autograph guests, no.
Okay. So, and after running your first event, what was your overall impression? So were you happy? So what was the outcome?
So we had around 250 people show up, which was incredible. I didn't know how it was going to go. I did as much promoting as possible. I did a lot on Facebook, but I would go to record stores, toy stores, comic book stores, bring flyers. I did a lot of that. I did a lot of running around. That's how I got my vendors. Was I have friends in the business. I'm a collector. But for the first show, it was a lot of work just to get people to trust in me that they'd make money and have a good time. And it was definitely me messaging, meeting people, going to stores, traveling, a lot more work than it almost is now, and the promoting and getting vendors. But overall, it went really great. The first thing was the vendors wanted to come back and the people wanted to come back. So that was the biggest thing.
You're talking about networking, right? And your first show, basically, in a sense, was the beginning of your networks. And, it helps to create other shows and to become bigger and bigger. Now, you didn't rest after that show because from what I heard, you started a YouTube series, right?
Yep.
What about that?
So as soon as that show was over, I just knew that I wanted to make this. Ever since I was a kid, I want to be involved in this world. Star Wars and Kiss are my two favorite things. Collecting toys, records, collectibles, all that. That's what I do. That's what I collect. That's what I love. So I wanted to, I just made all these connections, like you just said, meeting these people that sell, going to stores. I had the idea of kind of filming these stores and, making more connections, showing the stores almost like a commercial, doing something for everybody. Everyone kind of benefited and it was fun. It was people that I've known for a long time that had awesome stores. And it was a lot of fun doing the YouTube series. It just got to the point where I'm so busy that I just can't do it anymore. I got my own store.
Yeah, that was my next question. I heard that you opened up a store in Maine. And also like a toy store?
It's toys, records, and collectibles, and I just made a Kiss section.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I did. I didn't want to sell any Kiss merchandise until after Creatures Fest.
Right.
So as soon as I got back from Creatures Fest, I brought whatever didn't sell, and then I also bought a couple Kiss collections in Mass, and I made a whole corner of the store. I call it the Kiss Corner. It's records, toys, posters, artwork, just all Kiss, dedicated to Kiss. But so with the store, it's funny, Pask. After the show, I knew, like I said, I wanted to do this full time. In Massachusetts, there just wasn't as many opportunities because there's a lot of toy and record stores. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of shows, higher rent, tougher for a young guy to get a break. I ran a little store in the side of my house. I just would put ads on Facebook, have people come on, like I said, just the side of the house. I had made a little room with toys and records, and I would set up at shows. And that was like kind of the beginning. It started with, we did that interview. Then I did the show, did YouTube. I tried to do a little store at my house, and I went from that to doing another show and getting the opportunity to have a store in Maine. And when I got the store, it was springtime, I opened, and it's in Wells, Maine, a mile from the ocean, Route 1, beautiful. And I just wanted it to be what I love. So it's toys, records, and now some Kiss stuff.
Awesome.
So it's funny how life works.
Do you have an option to buy online?
I do eBay. I just started posting some more stuff on eBay. I definitely will, if people go to my Facebook page, it's DC Toys, Records, and Collectibles. If there's anything you guys want, you can always message me and I'll ship stuff out. If you check out our Facebook page, my eBay link is there, and definitely have the option to buy online.
Cool. Okay. So Dom, you mentioned before that if we move forward in the timeline, you ran your second event in December, I think, 2021. So what did you learn from your first experience to make this one even better?
I wanted a different feel. I wanted, like an actual venue that, was kind of built for, shows or events. And I kind of focused more on making it a bigger feel. So that, and that was mainly focusing on getting Matt Starr.
Okay.
That was the biggest thing, was how do I, what I learned was I ran my show a little too long. or if I'm going to run my show longer, how do I keep people in the door? How do I get people to, come and spend money or whatever? And I think the autograph guest is something I've always wanted to do. So.
Okay, so it feels like the biggest outcome for you was kind of making your network grow and make it bigger, and that basically led you to a working relationship with Matt Starr. Can you take us through the events that led to that relationship with Matt?
Yeah, so we were talking around the time that I did the interview, like I was telling you guys. It was impossible for him to do the first show because he was touring with Alice Cooper, the Ace and Alice tour. And I just kind of kept on him, I mean, I was very persistent. I had my mind set that I wanted autograph guests at my show. So, I was kind of pursuing him, and he lives in New England. So that was kind of the biggest thing was it wasn't like I got to pay for flights, nothing like that.
Right.
So we spoke a couple times over the phone, and he agreed. And once we worked together on the show, that was kind of when we realized we could work in the future, I think.
Okay.
So after the show, I suggested the Kiss Live auctions.
Okay. And in this particular event, so what was Matt's role? He was giving an autograph session with the fans.
Yeah. So what I did with Matt was, and first of all, I got to say right now, Matt is incredible. He's first of all an incredible drummer. He's just an awesome guy. That's why I love Matt so much, is because his personality and the way he is with his fans. He treats everybody with respect. I mean, he didn't have to help me out by coming to my event. I ran one event, so some people wouldn't bother. I'm not technically proven in this industry or whatever, but he helped me out, and we've had a great working relationship, and he's definitely been incredible. So his role in this show, he was bringing his drum heads, his drumsticks that he sells online. And, he was selling them at the show, and he did anyone that paid for a $10 ticket or whatever could get a free 8x10 signed by Matt. I made 8x10s for Matt, and so he signed autographs. He sold drum heads. He actually had a pretty good line. We put him on the stage because this venue was a concert venue that I was working with, and we put him on the stage. I had all my records and toys up there, and then Matt was up there with his stuff, and it was awesome to see people bring CDs, stuff I've never even heard of that he worked on. They had him sign CDs, records. He sold drum heads, drumsticks, and I met a lot of Kiss fans from the KLA, people that listen to the podcast, that all showed up in support of the show and Matt.
Great. Good stuff.
Awesome. Now, it's interesting that the more we're talking on this show, you can tell that your network is just growing and growing and growing, and you must have done something right to get Matt Starr. You must have been. You're saying you weren't well known in the industry, but for what little you did it right, and you did it well, and you really impressed the people that were there. And that is the beginning of networking. I think you did a fantastic job. Now, from that networking, you started a working relationship with Matt that grew into your working with him on online auctions, right? Now, your online auctions, is that an extension of your toy and record shows? Like, are you found the same thing, basically?
Yeah, it's like that for us. It was like soon as the show ended, I just knew I wanted to work with him, and that's how I am. Like when I work with celebrities, I want to work with them. I don't want to just be like an agent, like a promoter where you come in, you sign autographs, you leave. I want to be like involved in everything I do. So that's, I think, a reason why, like, I am very involved with the vendors. I'm very involved with everything, the fans, the people that come to the show, the people that are coming to sign autographs, the people dressing up, the car, everything. So with Matt, I wanted, how can we keep working together, because I just enjoyed it and I appreciated what he did for me. So I would just thought, maybe we could try the Kiss Live auctions, which, San and Todd, and like I said, I knew some of those guys, my vendors that do the Kiss Live auctions, and they put me in touch with Peter Corey, and Peter Corey gave us the green light, which, thankful for him. He helped us out, walked us through what we were doing, and we're on our fourth. I think we're going on our fourth auction this upcoming July. So it's awesome, because nothing was guaranteed. I mean, I was lucky to have him at my show, and now it's, I don't know how many months, almost 6 months or whatever, and we're still working together. So yeah, it's been incredible.
I'm relatively new to the auction world, and I find it interesting. But watching the people behind the camera, it's a lot of work, and they're doing the auction for hours. So from your perspective, tell us about the auction experience itself and the auction experience working with Matt.
Yeah, so since I've never done it before, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I watched a lot of Kenny Begley's a god with that stuff. So I watched him. I watched some of Peter Corey. I just kind of watched the main ones, and when I can. And like I said, I live locally now. I moved to Maine, but the Stan and Todd are local. Dean are now a lot local. So I watch their lives and stuff like that. And it is definitely a lot of work. Me and Matt definitely didn't really know what we were doing. And what's different is Matt it's almost like a hangout session. That's very much what it's like for Matt, where Matt can tell you stories about everything he's telling you. Me, the stories you're going to get is not too much history, or, with Matt, it's these are the drumsticks I use. This album Ace Frehley gave me. This, I played with Ace on this. I played with this, blah, blah, blah. So Matt kind of can do it for as long as he wants. We do it as I'll do an hour, he'll do an hour, I'll do an hour, he'll finish with an hour. So it's around 4 hours.
Wow.
That we do the auctions. And that's a typical, I think Kenny Begley on Saturdays does 15-hour auction, something like that.
Oh yeah, he's insane.
Yeah. So you think 4 hours is a lot, but then you see the other guys, and they can they can go all day, all night. And I'm, after those 4 hours, I'm exhausted.
So you said that you have an auction coming up in July.
Yep.
And how often do you plan on having these auctions?
So I wasn't sure if Matt was moving. He's actually going to be sticking around, I believe, in the New England area. So it's really up to him. He'll either text me and be like, or I'll ask him when you want to do one. So now that I have a lot more Kiss stuff in my inventory, I'm okay with doing them. I think roughly we were talked about once a month, once every couple months, something like that. Which is what it's been. I think we did our first one December, second February, third one May, and now July. So yeah, it's every 2 months.
Okay.
It's Dom, as I listen, hear what you're saying, and it's fascinating, how many things happened between September and today. And I still remember when we had the first episode with you. You had a clear vision of what you wanted to achieve, and following the Kiss work ethic, persistence and vision and going for it. It comes to fruition. So congratulations, man. So things are going in the right direction, definitely, and I think you're gonna have a lot of success, in the near future and long term too. So congrats, Pat. So this is great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And actually talking about that, there's another big milestone because it doesn't only end with the auctions, but you were a vendor at Creatures Fest. So can you tell us about your table? So And what did you get to experience at that show?
So Creatures Fest was the first Kiss Expo, anything that I've got to attend, not, never mind be a vendor. I think it was after our first auction, Peter Corey contacted me and was like, are you and Matt interested in being vendors? That's the funny thing working with Matt is people ask me all these questions about Matt or tie us together. Like, oh, are you and Matt going to do this? And like, I have no idea. The fact that you're even putting us in the same sentence, I'm honored. So Peter asked us if we were going to do it. And I'm like, whatever Matt says, if Matt is going to do it, I'll do it. I would love to do it. I definitely want to go. So I talked to Matt, and Matt was like, yeah, I'll have a table or whatever. So I kind of talked to Matt, and Matt said he'd be there, and I definitely was going to be there. And they did a KLA section at the Expo. So this is the craziest thing to me was Todd and San, my vendors from my previous shows, are set up next to me. Matt is set up next to me. So it was when you walk in, kind of in the middle, the KLA section was me and Matt on the corner, and then I had San and Todd next to me, and then I had Peter Corey and the Bruce Kulick table, and Joe Soares from Massachusetts, who actually got me into the KLA, all over there. And that was the craziest thing because I'm like looking around, I'm like, I've been with these guys since September. Sam and Todd were vendors at my first show. They've been vendors at every single show since. And I've had a great relationship with them. Peter Corey helped me out, getting into the KLA and all this stuff and, showing me what to do, showing me the ropes. So it was just crazy because I'm there with Matt. And then I got San and Todd. So I just felt at home, it was incredible. That was probably my favorite thing was how crazy it was. It all started with this podcast. It really did. So, but no, Creatures Fest was incredible. I thought it was awesome. Neil Davis, I can't thank him enough. Every time I saw him, I thanked him because it was just something that I thought I'd never see.
Oh yeah. So what were your general impressions of the event of Creatures Fest? If you can put it in words, I know that there's nothing like being there, but can you share with us what was your overall impression of the event?
I thought it was great, honestly, because not only being a vendor, I bought the Rock Odds package. So I had some great friends that help out with my shows and stuff, come with me to the event. My friend Kaylee, she helps me and Matt out with our auctions and everything. So she would run my table with my other friend Derek so I can go experience some more stuff. Uh-huh. So I did the meet and greet with Ace, Bruce, and Vinny. And I've never met Bruce. I've never met Vinny. And I needed to I have pictures with every single living KISS member. So I didn't have a picture with Ace. I've met him, but I needed a picture with Ace, Vinny, and Bruce to complete my wall of KISS. Mm-hmm. So I from Friday to Sunday, I was like nonstop busy. That's what I liked about it was I was so tired from the concerts, from the expo, from autographs, from meeting people, all that.
Intense.
I think it was really. Yeah, it was tiring, but it was incredible. So.
Could you pick a highlight of the whole event? If you had to pick one specific thing, could that be, meeting Ace, Vinny, and Bruce, maybe, or some of the shows? What could that be?
Honestly, I think the highlight was, I have so many highlights. Ace is one of my favorite members, so getting to talk to Ace, and I got to talk to Ace about working with Matt and stuff like that, which was so cool. But I would say the ultimate moment was seeing Ace and Peter play together.
Okay.
That was one of my favorite moments. The other thing was people coming up to me, asking me about Matt and telling me how great Matt was. To me, that was the coolest thing. People that watched the auctions, and they would come up to me and they go, oh, you're so lucky. Matt's a mentor to you. Matt's this. And what's it like working with Matt? And can you tell Matt that he's one of the best drummers? He's incredible. To me, that was so cool to, like I said, be associated with Matt. And we made these trading cards of me and Matt that we were giving out. People that go to our auctions and stuff, I made these trading cards of me and Matt. They're really awesome. And people asking for them and people wanting to buy them. It was just so cool.
Nice. Dom, just to wrap up, the Creatures Fest, part of the show or the question, I feel we need to ask. So 2 words, okay? Vinnie Vincent, your thoughts? Your thoughts?
It's funny. I was like one of the first people to get in when he like started playing. We waited in line for a long time. I keep myself pretty entertained, meeting people and stuff, but I'm just glad that I saw it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I met him. He was super cool to me. He was nice to me. He remembered my name and everything when I met him in the meet and greet. So he was cool. But seeing him play, just to see him, Bruce, and Ace together, I didn't pull my phone out to take any pictures and stuff like that. I wish that they could have done videos or pictures, because to me that was another highlight. You had Ace and Peter, you had Bruce and Peter, but seeing those 3, that was another thing that I was looking forward to the most.
Of course.
So some, everyone has different opinions. I'm just happy I saw it.
That's it. Well, thank you for sharing. Good.
So moving forward, your next show was in April of 2022. Stephen Constantino was a guest on that show. So for our listeners who may not know, tell us a little bit about him.
So he is from Return of the Jedi. He is the Gamorrean guard on the barge in Jabba's palace, Jabba's barge. He gets killed by Luke Skywalker. You see him in there. I think Luke swipes at his staff or whatever he's holding, and apparently he gets eaten by the Sarlacc. He's also a musician too. He's more of a musician than an actor. Now he has worked in the studio, like Belle Div DeVoe, New Edition. He does a lot of guitar work and stuff with bands. So that was another reason I met him networking at a convention I was a vendor at. And like I said, I love Star Wars. I love Kiss. He's actually a Kiss fan. So that was kind of cool. And he came here and I had him do I was like his manager for a week. I booked him all autograph appearances and he did my show. So it was a great week. It was a lot of fun.
So besides your guest, what were some of the highlights of that particular show?
That show was actually, that was my first show past in Maine. I ran it in Kittery, Maine. We had, I believe, around 25 tables indoors. And then I had another 10 outdoors. So around 35-ish tables. This one was probably my favorite. Steve came down from California, came up actually. And I was with him all week, running around doing autograph signings. So the show itself, just that was to cap off the week, was the show. So it was such a highlight because the attendance was incredible. The feeling, and a lot of the vendors are from my first show.
Okay.
So that was another highlight, was I'm keeping the same core vendors. Here's the other thing is most of my vendors are from New Hampshire and Maine. So they were driving 2-3 hours to Taunton, Mass. So now I'm running it in their backyard. Now it's my backyard. So the feel was just completely different. It was very much like the first show. I brought my speaker, I played music. Second show, I didn't have a lot of control of a lot of things with the venue. This venue, I had control of everything: music, the vibe, and people just loved it. I mean, Maine doesn't have a lot of stuff like this. You came in and it was half records, half toys. You had people dressed up. You had, an actor signing autographs. It was just so much fun. It was a great time, and this one felt like the least amount of work out of all of them. Just I wasn't stressed out about it. I felt comfortable because I know most all the vendors. It just felt like at home. It was incredible.
We'll talk about your next show in a second, but one final question. So do you feel that this particular show now has become the template for future shows that you want to do?
Yes, that's exactly kind of what I've built. No matter what, I am super talkative with my vendors. I'll tell you, the biggest thing was, like I said, the first show, I almost had to beg people to trust in me to do the show. The second show sold out around a month before the show. So, or maybe less, maybe more, I'm not sure. But, I started to get more attention, more people interested. And with this show, it was like, people already knew who I was. So they wanted to do the show. And everyone was expecting a good turnout. Everyone, just everything went perfectly. And that's a tough thing to do, but it's because I've kind of known some of these people. And like you said, the template of it is I make a floor plan. Everyone knows exactly where they're supposed to be going. So for vendors, I make it as easy as possible. You got to please the vendors. Then the autograph guests, I have incredible volunteers. My best friend, Cam, my friend Kenny, and my friend Kaylee, they volunteer. So for the special guests of the show, they don't have to do anything, which at a lot of shows, they got to set up their own tables, whatever. My show, my volunteers put their tables together, put their 8x10s out, everything. So that was, for me, it was just like so much fun, and having all these people I'm friendly with and and I'm at the point now where I can turn vendors down. That was the biggest thing. Was I had a couple of vendors that were causing issues the first show, just with other dealers and stuff like that. And it got to the point to where now I can kind of pick and choose. If I don't think you're a good fit for my show, I don't want you here. I want everyone to have fun, everyone to be on the same page,
Right. Wow. That sounds great, Dom. So as Paz was saying, you have a new event coming up, taking place Saturday, July the 30th at the Kittery Maine Lions Club. So what can fans expect in terms of vendors at this event? You just mentioned something, but can you give us more information?
So this show is going to be my biggest, in the sense as it's not, the biggest venue, but I can use indoors and outdoors. So the last show was Kittery Lions Club, but April's a little too cold, so I didn't have a lot of vendors outside. This show, I believe there's 27 tables that will be set up. We made some more room inside. We moved the ticket table outside to create a little bit more room. So I think there's 27 tables inside, last I checked. And I have the actor, the incredible Mark Dodson. He's the voice actor for the Gremlins. He's the voice actor from Salacious Crumb from Return of the Jedi. And he will be signing autographs Saturday. Doors open at 10 for general admission, but he might be there at 9 for early bird. He will be there. And along with him, Matt is coming. Matt Starr will be bringing his drum heads, bringing his sticks, and he'll be signing autographs as well. So indoors, expect around, probably minus Mark and Matt, 25 tables with toys, records, collectibles. There will be 3 or 4, not as many KISS tables. San and Todd are returning, and I still have another KISS vendor. So there still will be around 4 tables of KISS memorabilia. Okay. That's become a staple at my show. Is San and Todd, and then I get a couple other people that just bring KISS stuff. So there will definitely be KISS merchandise. There'll be a lot of 80s, toys with a lot of 80s records, stuff like that. And outdoors, I'm having some cosplayers that are interested, these groups from Canada. They're actually coming down to Maine for my show, for my event.
Nice.
And Yeah, so I'll have a lot of different things outside. I'll have artists there. Um, I'll have some artists, I have cosplayers, have people selling comic books. All outside's going to be an almost its own show.
Any surprise that you would like to talk about here? Something that you haven't mentioned?
So, well, I got two things. So the day before the show, the night before, we are doing a showing of the Gremlins at the Agunquit, the Levitt Theater in Agunquit, Maine. We're showing the Gremlins with Mark Dodson, and he's going to sign autographs there. But it's free for anyone that wants to come and see the Gremlins. It's all on my Facebook page, New England Touring Record Show.
Okay.
The exciting news is I just made a deal with a nice venue, a hotel venue. It's in a good central location, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and close to Mass, close to Maine, and I'm working on a deal for the future to run at least one show, for a full weekend a year. And to me, this has been the venue I've been looking for to potentially run my Kiss Expo.
Nice. Okay. Nice teaser.
Yeah.
Look, you'll leave it hanging there. Dom, just to wrap up on this one. So where can fans get information and tickets for this event on July the 30th?
So for this event, we just sell tickets at the door for now. Once I move into the other venue, probably start doing online tickets and stuff like that. Tickets are $5 at the door. Early bird is $10, so I keep it reasonable for the fans. New England Touring Record Show on Facebook, DC Toys, Records, and Collectibles on Facebook. I believe there's websites as well, but Facebook is what I use the most.
Okay, get it. Okay.
So you teased the Kiss Expo a couple of minutes ago, and you also teased it about a year ago, the last time you were on the show. So where exactly is the status of this particular idea? How far along are you?
Once I found the venue, so the biggest thing was I talked to people for that whole year since I mentioned it on your show. And it's always been on the back burner. Like, it's always something that I've had on my mind. It's something that I need to do in my brain. I have to do it. I need to do it. And I've talked to people about New England, and people say, oh, they used to run them all the time. They used to run them near Taunton and Seekonk. So they used to run them in New England. They just haven't in a long time. It's mostly been New York, New Jersey, the Indie Expo. So I hear people chattering like, well, I heard this person's going to run one. I heard this person's going to do it, but no one's done it. That's been the biggest thing. I've been kind of keeping an ear out to see, is someone going to run one here, because I want to do it. The venue, as we spoke before, is a hotel, can fit around 25 vendor tables in an expo, like a banquet hall room, and then they would give me a separate room for autographs. The biggest thing with me running a Kiss Expo is I think it's awesome that I have all these connections with vendors, but I really want, an Ace Frehley, a Bruce Kulick, and an Eric Singer, a Tommy Thayer, somebody to be the highlight key guest. That's what I would love the most. Ace would be my dream. That's Ace, like I said, that would be a dream come true to have Ace at my event. So that was the biggest thing, was finding the venue, and I think that's the venue. Now the second biggest thing is, can I get a guest?
Okay.
Because I would rather not run a Kiss Expo, if I don't have an autograph guest. I want somebody. It's just on my bucket list.
Do you remember a few years ago, they used to have like a vendor's mart in New Jersey, a Kiss Mart?
Yep.
Would you consider doing something like that if you don't have a signed guest? Would you be willing to do an expo just of merchandise?
So the idea with that pass is, like, I've thought about it, and the idea that I've had is maybe if I can't get a guest, like for a full-on Kiss Expo, I want to guess. But if I can't get, someone right now, maybe I was thinking of running my New England Touring Record Show one day. So like Saturday, New England Touring Record Show, Sunday, one day Kiss Expo with vendors, just vendors. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the idea, where it's like I can just break it up into one weekend. That way, that's like a tease for a Kiss. You know what I'm saying? It's a tease, a full weekend experience. Because if I'm doing, like I said, a full-on expo, it has to be a weekend. It has to be Saturday, Sunday, 25 tables full of Kiss merchandise, and some autograph signings. Has to. That's what I want. Neil Davis set the bar incredibly high. I don't think I'll ever touch that. I don't want to touch that. That's his accomplishment, and I'm just happy to be there. It was incredible. I want to make my own little mark in New England, just say that I did it, and it all started here, Pass.
That's amazing. Now, you're talking about a possible Kiss Expo, and are you going to continue doing your toy conventions as well? Let's say your Kiss Expos end up working and end up being very successful. Are you going to focus just on those Kiss Expos now, or will you do both?
So I think the goal, the end goal in a perfect world, manifesting all this live right now, would be to run the New England Touring Record Show once a year at a bigger venue, run the Kiss Expo once a year at this venue, and then throughout the year do a couple smaller New England Touring Record shows like in Kittery, and run them at a smaller venue, no autograph guest, and just kind of use that as a feeder system to build up to the big New England Touring Record Show and to build up to the big Kiss Expo. Because I still have those Kiss vendors that do my New England Touring Record Show.
Got it.
Well, you really have a plan going on. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, big
That's
time.
Incredible.
Big time. Awesome. Hey, Dom, before we wrap up the show, so we would like to end with a few words to the Kiss fans. What would you like to say to the Kiss Army? So you've, as we said before, it's been 9 months since we ran the first episode, and it's incredible, how fast you're growing, and your network, it's amazing now, and you're not going to stop. We can tell. So what would you like to say to the Kiss Army?
What I would like to say is, I dreamt of all this stuff, and I said to you guys, the first episode was, you got to do everything larger than life like Kiss did. You got to just shoot for it, because if you treat yourself, that's what I treat myself, like a business, like Kiss did, and just made everything happen by hard work, manifesting it, and just keep going. It's all possible. It's all about, the hard work. And I wouldn't get here if it wasn't with that first show, and just establishing that. So definitely just go after your dreams, and it's all possible. I mean, Kiss showed us the way.
Well, you're the living proof, man. So you're doing so good. Awesome.
No, Dom, it was a genuine pleasure to have you on the show. And I'll tell you why. You really, tonight, you validated what we do on this show. You have no idea how I felt when you said that everything started on our show with that interview about a year ago. And I feel like we're part of your experience. We're part of your story. And what we do on this show is promote our guests, promote what they do, promote the Kiss Army. And we're so happy to have done that for you, to continue to do that for you. And again, for you to validate what we do on this show, it is the greatest honor. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Seriously, like I said, it's funny. Everyone asks me how I started working with Matt. I'd say, listen to that show. We threw it out there. We put it out there. So, it's all come to fruition, and it all started with you guys. So I appreciate both of you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for mentioning that. Thank you.
Oh, to the Kiss Army. If you want to get involved with the Kiss Army Nation podcast, send us your comments, questions, or ideas to talk to me at kissarmynationpodcast.com. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and remember, never stop rocking. Take care, everyone. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Spotify, Podomatic, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to make yourself heard. Leave us a comment on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. See you all soon, Kiss Army.